And we are back. Today is the last day of summer break in Canada, which is marked by this holiday Monday called Labor Day, which I completely forgot about until I woke up this morning and wondered why nobody was working. I suspect students everywhere also have been dreading the arrival of this day, given that it is the last before a new school year begins. Being a PhD student, my schedule is a bit different, thankfully, but I do have to start back as a graduate teaching assistant with the rest of the students, which is a bit bittersweet. On the one hand, I make a bit of money as a TA to help pay for the bills, and on the other, it means less time to work on other tasks and hobbies that I'm interested in. So, yeah. Anyways, in this video, we are looking at a recent launch on the App Store called the Pinball Wizard. The game first launched on Apple Arcade back in 2019. I think it was 2019. And then it later launched on Nintendo Switch and on Steam. Recently, however, Frosty Pop, the developers, made it available as a free standalone title on the App Store, marking its transition from an Apple Arcade title to a free-to-play model. Do not let the free-to-play aspect of it frighten you away, however. There is no in-app purchases or ads, merely an option to make a donation to the developers should you decide. The game is very simple. It does take a bit of time to get comfortable with it, however. Essentially, it's pinball, go figure. It's called Pinball Wizard, but with rogue-like dungeon elements. So you launch your wizard character into the dungeon, and then it bounces off objects and monsters. Once all the necessary monsters have been slain, you get a key that opens the door to the next level. Along the way, you collect experience to level up your wizard character, which unlocks various skills, and you also collect treasure, which you use to purchase and upgrade those skills. If you launch your wizard character into monsters who are attacking, you will lose health. You will also lose health if you fall off the dungeon level. Once you've lost all your health, the game ends, which is when your experience and treasure gets tallied up. And when you decide to continue, you can begin from the last level that you reached, which are referred to as floors. You can also begin from any of the past floors that you previously completed. There is controller support, which I could not be happier about, but in this game, there's very little to actually control. Once you've launched your wizard character, you largely just sit back and watch as they bounce around the dungeon floor. Your only interaction is when the character begins falling back towards the paddles, which is when you need to launch them back into the floor. There is one other type of interaction, which is when you activate your skills. You can see in the video that I am using the dash skill periodically. This skill lets you redirect your wizard character mid-flight with added speed, but it can only be used when you have enough energy. Energy will refill with time, but you can also collect it from the dungeon elements and items. Overall, the game is very simple, but actually quite a bit of fun. There are elements of both skill and luck involved, which I think is rather unique. I also really like the simple aesthetics of the game, especially the color palette being used, though I may be a bit biased because I really enjoy the color purple. But being free and without ads, this is an easy recommendation. Give this one a try if you have not already. On another random note, which seems to be becoming a bit of a trend when I make videos, I added a new profile picture to my channel, which you may have noticed. It is a modified version of the Memoji that I use on my Apple devices. Funny enough, it's rather difficult to get the Memojis off your devices and onto something like a computer or a Mac in order to edit it rather than just taking a screenshot of it. You can create a Memoji, but there's no clear way to actually export it. Not that I immediately saw anyways. Turns out the simplest way to do so was to open a note in the Notes app and using the stickers function, insert the Memoji you wanted as a sticker, which then allows you to copy it or export it as an image. Unfortunately, it exports at something like 450 by 450 pixels, so it's not large, but good enough for a profile picture. I then imported it into Pixelmator Pro for Mac, which is my preferred graphics editor, added a simple gradient background, darkened the MacBook to look less silver and more like the Midnight MacBook Air that I use, and there we go. I think it turned out pretty good. The previous profile picture I was using was one that I actually paid for many years ago. I commissioned someone from Etsy to draw a picture of me chibi style. The full image is actually me jumping rope while playing video games because those were two things I was really passionate about back then. Interestingly, those are still two things that I'm passionate about today, but I just don't have as much time to engage with them as I used to. I am very content with paying someone to create something for me, like an image or music or whatever, because I'm not that creative myself, and I'm certainly not patient enough to do this kind of stuff myself. But in a world where generative AI is becoming, so prevalent, it's now so easy to simply ask one of these tools to create something for you. And it sort of makes me a bit concerned for all the artists out there. Wanting to be a professional artist used to be considered by many to be foolish, given how difficult it is to succeed. But it's definitely gotten much worse with the introduction of generative AI, and it's bound to continue to get worse as these tools improve. Have you ever wondered what the job market is going to look like in the next 10, 15, 20 years? I suspect it's going to be much different from today. Yeah, but that is it for this one. Once more, we got off topic there at the end. It's becoming a bit of a trend, but whatever. It can be fun to see where your thoughts and ideas take you if you just let them wander. Until next time, though, see you later.